This is Scotty from I thought it was a bottle. Yeah, it's not a bottle, it's a microphone. But you got to go to see the net episode of Stupid Heroes Junkie. I'm starting to talk, that's not Scottish at all. I'm that drunk. But anyway, don't miss it. And go to StarTrekContinues.com to see our episodes. Bye.
I really love episode 3.
Yeah.
Me too.
Did an amazing job as Mirror Spock.
Yeah, he stood out.
And we really had a great time with that episode.
Now, how many are you going to shoot? You're shooting 2 more later this year? Or?
Well, we're preparing right now. We're in pre-production, and we're planning to shoot episode 4 and 5 pretty much concurrent.
Okay.
I will tell you that episode 5 is going to be our first off the ship episode.
Oh, wow. All right.
We're very excited about it.
Calm down.
It's really exciting. And you know where our third episode was very action oriented.
Right.
The next episode 4 is very drama oriented. It's much more of a deep character story, and very excited about it. Very excited. We'll be shooting that in January, and then episode 5 for the most part in February.
And how long does it take to shoot an episode?
Well, so far, it takes anywhere from 8 to 9 days, and I gotta brag on my crew a little bit. The original series of Star Trek, they shot an episode in 7 days.
Wow,
that's professional. Wow. We're talking CBS. We're talking a professional production company. We're talking a lighting grid with already set lights and a full crew of professional people. Wow. We shot Lolani in 7.5 days.
Wow.
So we've got a great group of people, and I mean, Lisa Hansel and Tim Vidito, our makeup supervisors, Ralph Miller, our sound supervisor, Casey Shafsky, our unit production manager, James Kerwin directed Fairest of Them All, Chris White, our first AD, Matt Busey. We've just got a huge group of people that are really committed to what we're doing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I just made a horrible mistake probably starting to mention people, because you always forget somebody.
Sure.
But great people, all of them.
It's a group effort. I mean, everybody that's involved in any type of production, it's not the people in front of the camera, it's everybody. Yeah. So that's really important.
Right.
Yeah, if we named everybody, we'd be here for an hour and a half. Just There's just so many great people involved.
Now, what do you think you want to cover that for some of the next episodes? Are you going to take anything from like some of the other episodes, like City on the Edge of Forever, any time travel things like Tomorrow's Yesterday, anything like that?
Well, you can't possibly think I'm going to answer that question.
I believe they are going to do something like that.
No, I will say this. I love the idea of doing a follow-up to some of the original episodes.
Yeah.
I love the idea of what were the ramifications of what they did in such and such. A Piece of the Action.
Yeah.
Remember that one?
Oh,
the
I love that gangster one. Yeah.
Remember how it ended?
Oh.
McCoy is on the bridge and he's like, I don't know how serious this is, Jim, but I left my communicator there.
Right, he left it open, exactly.
And Kirk starts teasing him. He's like, serious, Bones. It throws everything off and blah, blah, blah. So what would be the logical,
I hope that's the next one.
2 years,
that'd be fun.
2 years, 2 years down the road. I mean, what are the ramifications of that? And there were several episodes that were left very open-ended. But the problem is, I don't want viewers to think, well, they
that's
just
all we do.
Yeah, all they do is take stuff that's already been done and kind of build on it. So our first episode was a sequel to an original series episode. Our second episode was completely original, the Lolani episode. The third episode is not as much of a sequel as it is of like a like it's running at the same time in the mirror universe as what was happening in the Prime universe. Our 4th episode will be a great original story. It will have some elements from the original series, but it's a really good original story. And our 5th episode is a completely original story. So we don't want people to, fans can be very, opinionated.
Sure. Sure.
And we are very grateful that they're enjoying what we're doing, and we don't want them to be like, they just make sequels to the original episode. It is called Star Trek Continues. But,
good point.
But it's really hard to find good stories, Todd.
Yeah.
You might be surprised.
That's the toughest part. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I thought when we started this that we would have scripts coming out like pouring in. That there are Star Trek fans around the world who've been writing stories, thousands of them for years, and we're going to find all these great stories. Not so much.
You get a lot, but they're not great.
Yeah, they're not great.
You get a lot of fan servicey kind of Captain Kirk fights the Klingons. But as Bob Justman used to say, what's it about?
Exactly. There has to be an outline.
Okay.
There has to be
what's it about? What's
a story going on.
What's the guts of the story?
Escalates. Exactly.
What's the moral of the story?
Now you're involved with writing all the scripts with some other partners?
So far I've written the stories that we've done.
Okay.
The first 4, 5. But I don't want to. I mean, that's not my...
It's hard. It's a lot of work.
Well, it's not my gift. I don't think it's my gift. I love the original series so much that I feel like I know what I want to see, and if I hear a compelling idea for a story, I'll write the story, but then I'll hand it off to script writers who will turn it into a screenplay.
Yeah.
And then they'll give it back to me, and we'll tweak it very much the same way Gene Roddenberry would get a script back from a writer, and then he would tweak it to make it more his vision for the
And the same goes with the directing too. I mean, Vic, he directed the first episode, and he's a great director. I mean, I was blown away by his skills. But he said, I can't do it all the time. I have to be able to act. I have to be able to do my thing. Running that, directing and acting and being the main character, it's a lot of work.
Well, you feel like nothing gets your full attention.
Got Chris
you know what I mean?
And James Kerwin in to help with the directing.
Well, what's great, what I noticed as well is it's not only the stories are really intense, and what I noticed is the directing looks exactly like the original show. I mean, there was a scene, I think it was in Lolani, where you cut to a close-up of the red shirt, I forget his name, and it was the same cut you would get in the original series. It wouldn't be the actual cut that a regular director would pick, maybe they get a medium shot. It was the exact cut you would get in the original series, where the music came on and you cut to that close-up, and you're like, wow, this is exactly like I'm watching the 66
I really
show.
appreciate your noticing these things.
You know what, I want to say this too. In Lolani, there was one scene when I was watching it, and Vic says, I can't believe you noticed that. That's so awesome you noticed that. There's a scene where we're having dinner. Right? I'm not going to give anything away. We're having dinner, and Spock is sitting next to me, and of course there's alcohol involved. And, Scotty loves his alcohol.
I know the scene.
So he's and it was just there was no words said, no dialogue, and it was just me, Scotty rather, doing this, pouring it, having a good old time, and then you see Spock looking over like, didn't say a word, just looks at me like.
So great.
Like Scotty,
he just looks at him like, are you really pouring yourself another
Scotty
one?
was already getting a little bit cantankerous at that point, so she's like, you really don't need another drink, Scotty. You didn't say a word, but you just knew. So when you watch the lawn and look at that, it makes me laugh every single time. I'm so glad you put that in there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, cool. And we heard from Kamikaze. You did Kamikaze recently.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine tried to get in to see Fairest of Them All, and it was packed, he told me.
Yeah, it's sort of like the last minute. Everybody just sort of packed in. That's a huge venue over there, if you know. And our little theater was room 411. It must have been a mile away from the main area. It was just so far away. It took me forever to find it. So we were a little worried we wouldn't get a lot of people in there. But yeah, a lot of people came in.
That is awesome. You have to check it out, StarTrekContinues.com. Go there now, download all the episodes, send them email support, go to all the conventions.
Let me just also say we're going to be launching a Kickstarter.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Kickstarter 2.0.
Yeah.
Let's hope. A year ago, we launched our first, and we asked for $100,000 to make 3 more episodes. And let me give you a perspective. The original series, the episode cost per episode of the original series was $110,000.
Wow.
In 1966. Wow. You know how much that is now?
Like 112.
Over $1 million.
Wow.
So I want you to hold that number in your mind. Over $1 million to make an original series episode of Star Trek now.
To do basically what we're doing.
You know how much? To do what we're doing. You know how much we're spending? $40,000. I mean, like, it's nothing.
Yeah.
And yet, because of the passion and the commitment of everybody that we've got on board, we're able to get that kind of quality without spending the kind of money that it would normally cost. But we said we would make 3 more episodes for the $100,000. We raised the money a year ago, and we did exactly what we said we were going to do. We made 3 more episodes, and so now it's time. The money's gone, and it's time to raise some more if the fans are enjoying what we're doing. So probably at the very beginning of the year, after the holidays, we're going to launch our next Kickstarter.
All right, let us know. We'll also post it on Superhero
Thank you
Junkies.
for that.
That'd be great.
So be looking for it. Join us on Facebook.
Yeah.
Like us on Facebook, and check out our website.
All right, great.
Twitter, go Chris Doohan, Twitter/Chris Doohan. I'm there.
All right.
Follow me.
Check out his Twitter.
Check out my Twitter.
Tweet.